Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me at benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast because People of Distinction is a nationally and internationally syndicated show because of listeners like you. Our shows are available across all major podcast distributors as well as YouTube. And if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. We appreciate the support. Continue to like and follow and sit back and strap in because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Geeta Pati. And we're going to be discussing her amazing children's novel, A Trip to the Moon. Available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a whole host of other places. Simply type it into a Google search bar, and you're going to be greeted with them all. Now, in addition to A Trip to the Moon, Geeta has been putting in some work, people, okay? Because there are 2 other books available for purchase at this moment. And trust me when I tell you, a lot more on the horizon, okay? There are a number of other books that are still in creation, but there is a lot here to be gained and a lot that Geeta has to offer. So you know where to go. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. Make sure you're checking back in frequently to get the rest of the series the moment that they become available. And before we go any further, I want to quickly take this opportunity and point out the fact that Geeta was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by one of the best publishing firms in the business. And people you already know, I'm talking about Author Reputation Press. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process and now you need help moving the book you just developed, well, look no further than ARP, people, because this is exactly what they specialize in. And you're going to want to head on over to authorreputationpress.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Geeta here on the line. Her book, A Trip to the Moon, it's going to have you wanting to do just that, all right? It's going to make you want to travel to the moon. And it is such a fun-filled novel for children, but it also packs a punch with an amazing education to be given as well. But here's the thing, because it's so entertaining, your children are going to learn, and they're not even going to realize they're doing so. It's just going to stick. It's filled with so many wonderful images that it really brings the education to life for them. They're going to learn scientific facts about the moon and the space along the way, and it's meant to entertain as well as keep them engaged in learning at the same time. But listen, Geeta has all the answers, man. She's going to be able to articulate everything much better than I ever could. Sit back, strap in, have your notebooks ready, and she's about to take us back to school. Geeta, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy that I could speak to the people about my book. This is a great honor.
We are very excited to listen to you, okay? What you've comprised here is something that is going to offer so much benefit that we're thoroughly looking forward to the discussion. Before we go into this wonderful book, Geeta, start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Okay, I had a degree in psychology, but after I married my husband, who is a physics professor, and I became a full-time housewife. I have 4 children, and entire life until they grew up, I did that, cooking, cleaning, washing dishes, and all that housewife job. But in the meantime, I was honored to have a lot of physicists who came into our house for dinner. And talking to them, like a lot of them are Nobel laureates, like Gell-Mann, like Feynman. And I met also Oppenheimer when my husband was working in Princeton. And then I met also Hawking and a lot more. And I met the main person actually is my husband. But he didn't have time for all these. But I just gathered that why the science is so difficult to understand. And if you say, okay, Apollo 11, 3 astronauts went up. It's irregular thing. When you write that the animals decided to go, and they are like really ignorant, and they tried out all kinds of things to jump into craters and do all kinds of things, not knowing that the moon doesn't have air, water, or any such thing. So this is described like young children. They try to learn with their experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wrote this. Because they were not knowledgeable about what is involved in a space thing. So that is where I brought a guru, advisor, he's a wise owl. He tried to guide them that this moon has. They tried, did their own thing to learn hard way because they were not trained. They didn't know exactly what is there on the moon. They thought, oh, maybe the moon is a big area, they can have fun, but they realized that there is nothing there. And then I brought in these beliefs that you see a face in the moon. Like in India, they have a story of a rabbit on the moon. So these animals go looking for them. That who is that rabbit on the moon? Finally, of course, they will learn there is no such thing. Not a rabbit on the moon or somebody sitting and eating off the moon. And so there I described all these scientific things, that how this eclipse, all this happens, for scientific reason. So that was given by the wise owl. He said that this is the thing, and you cannot do all these because there's no gravity is less here. So actually the book explains step by step what is there on the moon and what is not there on the moon. So instead of reading, they experience that what they could find on the moon. There is no tree, there is no air. So they learned it by fooling around like little kids, and that is the whole story. And it is also gives about solar eclipse, how it happens. Like in India, we learned that solar eclipse happen because a monster heats it up. But it happens due to the sun, moon, and they're lined up. So it's a details of how things happen.
Yeah.
And, you can learn science, but for a child to, explore, he didn't know there is no air. He came out, he was almost dead. All his friends rescued him. Then the fish jumped into the crater thinking it's a big swimming pool. And luckily the crater was not very deep. So this wise owl said, look, there is no water anywhere on the moon, not in the place we are coming. So then from there, this is a tribal person telling his grandson the story. In the meantime, with the story of 3 astronauts is described, what they did and all that. Mm-hmm. So this is what is the book. But that leads to the next book already published, is called The Big Bang. The Big Bang, what happened, how the particles came. They were personified. I don't write like this. They are all personified. So all the particles are there. They are talking to each other. They are combining. In fact, then they made the universe, and it's all scientific thing given. So a child will know with the pictures and simple language, they will learn exactly what happened during the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have several other books like that I describe what a quantum mechanics is, what a quantum radiation, and what is Hawking's radiation in pictures. If you tell them, nobody, I wasn't understanding. And I met Hawkins, but he was too sick. He couldn't talk properly. I don't know how people understand, but I could not understand. I met lots of people who are Nobel Prizes, and talking to them, and I figured out this is the right way to present science to the kids. Otherwise, you want to read all this boring science. I did not. It's too boring. But when you saw the pictures of photons and proton and electron, how they are singing and combining in the second book, of course. So that this thing that children are excited to know what happened to this little photon particle or electron or all those. So that is my next book, which is also is being sold. So I want to make science easier for children.
Yeah.
Not a boring thing, sit and read about quantum mechanics. I have pictures of Hawking's radiation, how the particles are created near the event horizon of the black hole. The black hole book is coming up, and how they escape. One escapes. This goes to quantum theory. What is a quantum? So it's all in pictures that they will understand what is a quantum mechanics. I didn't understand in the beginning. But when I got into the really thing, what is quantum mechanics? It's the same smallest particles, and they could do a lot more things than heavier particles. So I learned myself a lot by writing, and the pictures are breathtaking in all my books. It goes up till the end of the info. It describes about all the scientists who contributed. It also goes to subjects like there are alien planets where this little hero try to find things, alien planets with all water planets, all water. Then he ends up in a strange planet where everything is carnivorous. Each one is one. So it is written the way the child will like. Of course, my husband likes it. He says all his friends are asking for the book, all are physicists. And so I am sure the children will learn. They will learn all the science. I can guarantee you that, which is so far was not comprehensible. I didn't understand what's going on. So as I was telling, a picture is worse than 1,000 words. If you saw a picture of something, this is the photon, he looks very happy, it's the most powerful particle. So that is my aim. I hope I could finish and publish all of them one by one. And also part of the book is Acid and Oasis Save It. It's all about global warming, climate change, all these pictures, that how the oceans are polluted, how land is polluted. So that is the third book I'm going to take it up. So the books are written. I'm just going over and I have to find proper place to publish it. That is my main goal. And my daughter, Geeta Pati, is a gynec obstetric. She does also alternate medicine. I gave her the charge since I am 83-year-old. And I wrote this book long time ago, but I could not take it out. So once my husband took the book to a UNESCO conference in Ahmedabad, everybody, he read a chapter from the black hole. Everybody wanted to know who wrote it, and this is the way we should teach children about the black hole. And of course, he didn't tell my name. You say, oh, so why? The writing husband is presenting. But they promised me, anytime you want to publish things, you have to contact us. We will either publish or distribute. But I was too busy. I didn't know. And the person who promised, he retired already. But at least I felt that it is really accepted by scientists, by teachers, and of course students. I'm sure they will like. So there is nothing satisfying more than what I feel. Yes, I was a housewife, so what? I did a great job taking care. But I feel very satisfied that I could write these books, which is now liked. Even in India, they wanted to republish. Every country, in Japan, in Russia, he went to give a talk. Two Russian scientists wanted you to do it in Russian language. I said, well, I'm not too sure of that, but since they are all scientists, I say, then the Danish scientist, he asked if he will give permission to publish it or whatever is out. So it's a lot of demand. That's all I can say. It has a lot of demand. But one has to really pursue to find the right place to publish and to distribute. It's very important that the books are distributed properly and people know about.
Yeah.
There are many books around, but these are really for schools and colleges. Even the college students, they don't know all the details of what is quantum mechanics. We don't know. What is a quantum particle? They don't know. It's not that they work in companies. They don't know. Yeah, they read about quantum, but what it is really, what it does. It's detailedly described. That is what it is. Then the child will understand, yes. Mm-hmm. It is the same, smallest portion of a particle is called quanta. So I hope I will succeed in my thing. What is it called? Adventure. If I succeed, I will be very thankful to God that everything I wanted to do, I did. So all I'm saying, a housewife is very important. And they can do whatever they want to do. It's not a housewife is all for cooking, cleaning. No, you can do that. You can do something. Suppose painting. I did a lot of oil painting in the beginning. Then I say, well, the oil paintings are okay. Then I learned piano. In India, piano is there. So finally I settled down. The best thing is to write books. And that's what I have been doing.
Geeta, I absolutely love this. And I think it's such a creative concept that you've developed here because you're tackling complex notions, right, and scientific methods here while doing it in a way that, like I mentioned, creative and fun and is now going to be easily digestible to children. And I think that is the most crucial component. Well, I'm curious to know, when it comes to your book, A Trip to the Moon, you could have selected a number of ways to showcase this story. But you made your main protagonists this band of animals. I'm curious to know, why did you choose animals as the protagonist instead of human characters?
That's because then the animals were not trained. So they will do things and ask questions, which at least will be answered by the guru, the wise owl. Mm-hmm. If they knew everything, like the three astronauts went, they knew what will happen, what is there. Here they are ignorant. They don't know. It's like a child finding out, not knowing what is there. It's like the children, they are discovering things by doing something, so like jumping into a crater, because they were not trained. So they thought there is water and they can swim around, and like the fish jumped into the water.
Yeah.
And the thing is to teach children that there is no water on the moon. He said, why there are so many craters? He thought it's full of water. Instead of they have to find out themselves. Mm-hmm. And then the things they do, like this rabbit jumping high. He said, ooh, I'm super jumper, because they didn't know moon's gravity is less. So you can jump much higher on the moon than on Earth, because Earth has gravity, it pulls you down. So each one try to do like the crows thought he will fly around. But he didn't realize there is no air. Each one is proved by the animals trying to do it. So when he flapped his wings, there is no air. He falls off, or fall off actually.
Perfect.
And then this every chapter has like they're trying out everything. And the thing is like the story of gravity, okay? So you can like, gravity was discovered by this scientist, and Wait a minute, let me go to that page. Why should we say about Newton? Newton is the one who talked about gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, oh, I know why the apple, he saw the apple falling to the ground, and that gave him an idea to Newton that there has to be a power which pulls everything down. But these animals are ignorant. They say, no, it fell because we should be eating them. They are juicy fruits. Why didn't it fall in the water? So if they have their ways of looking like children, they look at a different way. They didn't know who is Newton. And then there's a little humor, like apple fell on his head and he has a big bump. So they have to put turmeric and this and that. This is the make-up stories of children.
Absolutely.
And finally said, no, that's not the truth. The truth is Earth, he found out Earth has a gravitational force which pulls everything down.
That is a great, great aspect. And a follow-up now that I want to go into, and I'm sure it was a challenge for you. So I'm curious to know, when you're talking about the complexities of the science that you're articulating, you're wanting to articulate that message, but do it in a fun way. How did you balance factual scientific information with the creativity of storytelling?
Yes. So finally, of course, the wise owl explains that this is not that the apple fell right near Newton because he wanted to eat. It's so juicy and all that. It's because the earth has a force called gravitational force which pulls everything down. So they learned. Then they learned about jumping. So rabbit said, oh, look at me. I will be doing high jump here. And the animals encourage, yeah, you will be a super duper. He said, no. This has less gravity, the moon. Mm-hmm. That's why you could jump so high. When you go back to Earth, you will be back again with the Earth's gravity, which is much higher than the moon. Each one they proved. Like they started a fire. They had taken a match to make fire and make some tea outside. But it don't burn. So what is happening? There is not a spark coming out because there is no oxygen. Without oxygen, there is no fire. So here is a small experiment to let the children do that. When you have a candle, it burns nicely because there is oxygen around. But if you cover it up, slowly the oxygen will go and it will go up. So they learn that moon has no oxygen. So you have to welcome that. Each fact, scientific fact about the moon is different. Then they said, well, it's better that we could have gone to the sun. It's so bright and everything. And no, sun is a burning fire. And it will be burnt into death. So he said, okay, can we go to the sun? So he hypnotized them. He said, this is just like a journey being hypnotized. So when they go, he said, I will count 3. You will all go in this journey to the sun. And then they could see all these features of the sun. And one by one, they said, oh, there's a huge fire going on. No, they are solar flares. Okay, then the sun has prominences, yes. When there are a little spaceship, of course, all hypnotized. Goes up and it comes down. They said, oh, this is one thing. Then they said, oh, Mr. Guru, there is this black patches. He said, well, the other one said, oh, it may be cheats in the sun. So they are so ignorant. They have to learn each one. So they know that's the whole spot of the sun. So they learned all about, and how many, what comes out of the sun is called electromagnetic spectrum, which each one has its thing, and it is drawn so that you see what are the wavelengths of the spectrum. And there is radio waves, which we use on Earth. There is microwave, with warmer food, and there is infrared, which is fire. And then visible light is the smallest amount, visible light. Then comes ultraviolet rays. The picture is there also, that you turn in the sun, and X-ray, which you to X-ray to see any hand broken or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is cosmic ray. So all these are drawn in the picture so that the child will learn our visible light spectrum is really narrow. We cannot see all these radio waves and microwaves. We can see them except for visible light. So they learn everything about the sun.
People, I'm telling you, the journey is magnificent. The education is real. It's Amazon. It's Barnes & Noble. It's a whole host of other places. You got to pick up copies of A Trip to the Moon by Geeta Pati. While you're at it, remember, there are 2 others at this moment and a lot more on the horizon. You got to pick up your copies today. Get lost in this magnificent journey. And your children are going to love learning science. It's going to be brought to them and not the other way around, which I think is so often how things happen. Geeta, this has been a wonderful conversation, enlightening to no end. And we thank you for being a guest with us, the People of Distinction.
Thank you.